What's up guys, this is Axity and today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to create a strong and driving bass line. So let's jump right in. So here we have the project file for my new song together with Justin Prime, Walter Allen and George Gleason. It's called It Never Mattered Anyway and it's out now on NEXCHAPTER, so go check it out if you haven't yet. And I'll play you the drop first. So the bass line in this track actually consists of 4 different layers, and let me solo those for you. As you can hear, there's a lot of going on. It's quite fat sounding, and to achieve that, first up we have this bass block from Repro 5. And I actually want to make this bass element a little more chord-like, so I added this harmony part. And if we take a look at the MIDI, as you can see, it's not just playing the root notes. So that's a good tip in making your bass lines interesting. Try to have some odd notes here and there, not just playing the root notes. And if we look at the processing in this, first up we have OTT, and if we listen to the sound, it's quite wide, and to achieve that I've used a couple of cool plugins. So first up we have Echo Boy, and this is a cool trick I learned from a Finnish producer Leno. So basically you have this super short delay, like 0.1 milliseconds, and it kind of breaks up the sound. So let's listen to the wet signal. And here's the dry signal. And then we mix in the wet signal just a little bit, like 10 to 15%. And it sounds like this. So it adds a little bit of that stereo information. And next up we have this guy, just a basic chorus plugin. This is modeled after the vintage Juno chorus, and I really like the sound of it. And after adding all that stereo information to your low end, we basically don't want that. So what I've done then is I've taken out the side signal using the mid-side EQ from around 150 Hz or so. And that's also an important thing. If you're a beginner, if you haven't heard of mid-side EQing, definitely look into that. It can be really important in helping your mixes. And I've also added some of that mid signal, so it sounds decent in mono too. Then we have compressor. This is my favorite compressor. I use this one almost exclusively. I'm compressing it quite hard, around 12 dB. Yeah. Let's move on to the actual main bass of the track. Sounds like this. And a cool trick I've done here, what I've been actually doing quite a lot lately, is I have this pitch automation going on. So like every 4 beats or so, there's a pitch bend going an octave up or octave down. and it really adds like nice movement to the sound. So that's a cool trick to try out. And that is this. This is actually a preset from the Oliver Splice Pack for Serum, and it sounds great on its own already. But what I've done here in the processing chain is I've added some distortion, some saturation to bring out those lower harmonics. I've used FabFilter Saturn and Waves R bass for that. I'm actually pushing this R bass really hard. Then we have the chorus again, OTT. I actually used a reverb on this bass too, but it's only affecting like the upper mid range, so it's cool. Compression. Then I've also again cleaned up the low end with the mid-side EQ. Then lastly we have this brass tap. Just to bring some high end to the mix. And a cool thing I've done here, if you have Pro Q3, there's this new feature called Dynamic EQ. It's basically just a multiband compressor. But what I've used it here for is to tame some of the lower frequencies without actually taking them completely out. Yeah, and then they are all routed to this bass bus channel, and there I have some more saturation, some multiband compressor controlling the mids, OTT, compressor again, just doing quite a lot of work again, some light EQing, and a sidechain lastly. So that's it for this bassline. Yeah, our new track, It Never Mattered Anyway, it's out now next chapter together with Justin Prime, Walter Allen and George Gleason. Go check it out. Hope you learned something new. See you in the next one. Peace.